Now that How to with John Wilson has returned on HBO, fans of the show are likely counting the days until a new episode drops each week. The good news is that producer Nathan Fielder is a pioneer when it comes to this quirky brand of funny, and 4 seasons of his hit Comedy Central series Nathan For You are available for your viewing pleasure. Consider the void filled. Fielder's humor is unique and awkwardly brilliant. We could watch him talk about anything for the duration of an episode and be perfectly entertained, but bring in a handful of quirky guest stars and this comedic concoction goes from a simmer to an all-out boil pretty darn quick. Fielder admittedly utilizes Craigslist to find a lot of his guests, while others seem like they were created in a lab specifically to play off of him. Collider video of the day. Whatever the magic formula is, it never disappoints. Some of the show's guests have gone on to star in their own reality shows, while others have racked up hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. It's a testament to what a keen eye Fielder has for milking as much comedic potential as he can out of every moment. That said, no discussion of Nathan For You would be complete without acknowledging some of the show's truly unforgettable characters, so away we go. Private Investigator Brian Wolf. In an effort to boost Private Investigator Brian Wolf's Yelp rating, Nathan allows himself to be followed for 24 hours so he can test Brian's abilities. What we don't see coming is that Brian is immediately combative, has no filter, he doesn't particularly respect Nathan, and he certainly doesn't mince words when it comes to how he feels. Statements like "you've been a nerd your entire life, you're like the wizard of loneliness, and you're still a goober but that's just you" are just a few shots he fires at Nathan, along with a whole lot of F-bombs. As if that weren't enough, discussions across multiple episodes revolve around Brian's days working as a porn star, or adult entertainment modeling as he refers to it. His numerous appearances led to him getting his own reality series, Cry Wolf, which ran for 3 seasons. Who says being a bully can't pay off? Production assistant Salomon Flores. While we don't see much of what happens behind the scenes on Nathan For You, we're occasionally treated to an appearance by Salomon Flores, an employee who could easily play Pedro if Napoleon Dynamite is ever staged as a musical and Efren Ramirez isn't available. It's hard to tell what exactly Salomon's role is in The Office, but it doesn't really matter as he's most often utilized as a part of one of Nathan's absurd business plans. We first meet him when he's sent on a blind date at Quiznos, where he's instructed to use some key branding phrases for the company. We see him again several more times, though it's never enough. He eulogizes a fly in a pet cemetery, is intentionally left off a party guest list, and goes on a second blind date of sorts, this time posing as a makeup artist, which he most definitely is not, but we love him anyway. Realtor Sue Stanford. A lot of the business owners Nathan speaks with are justifiably skeptical of his methods at first, and Realtor Sue Stanford seems like no exception. until she reveals her violent interaction with a ghost in Switzerland. Yes, you read that right. She really gets into Fielder's idea of selling ghost-free homes, and even starts weeping when a priest is brought in to remove demon spirits from the house before turning his attention to her. It's impossible to turn away as the exorcism takes place, and at the end it briefly appears as though she's gone catatonic. Five stars for Brother Carlos and his holy water. Sue appears again in a follow-up segment where she discusses her Ghost Realtor television series. If you're looking for a craftsman style in Pasadena without the spirits, she's your gal. Host Anthony Napoli. This poor guy is forced to deal with Nathan's insecurities on a fake dating show called The Hunk, and the way he goes along with it all despite how strange things get is very entertaining to watch. Nathan spreads a false rumor about some of Anthony's bedroom hobbies, and somehow, he still manages to keep a cool head about it. Possibly against his better judgment, Anthony returns to host a supersized episode that looks back on previous segments. He shines in the role, no easy task when interviewing Nathan Fielder. Lawyer Peter G. Marks. It's no surprise that Nathan often requires the services of an attorney, and Peter's no-nonsense approach is on full display in an episode titled Dumb Starbucks, Season 2, Episode 13. Things get tense almost immediately, because of course they do when Nathan is involved, but Peter is firm and appears on the verge of shutting the whole thing down if his rules aren't followed. They seem to patch things up, which is good because he's brought in to represent potential plaintiffs in a haunted house lawsuit in a later episode. Nathan may have tested his limits, but it's good to have a no-nonsense attorney like Peter Marks on your side when things get weird. Love interest Rachel. While she doesn't get as much screen time as some guests do, Rachel steals every scene she's in. We first meet her on Nathan's fake dating show, and she attempts to sweep him off his feet by revealing her deepest, darkest secret. We don't want to give everything away, but the tea involved socks and her distaste for wearing them. Come for the gossip, stay for the forced Valley Girl laughter and the heavy blue eyeshadow. Rachel shows up again to go on a blind date with production assistant Salomon, and it's even more uncomfortable than you're picturing. There's no one like me, she tells Nathan. We couldn't agree more. Security guard Simon Kellogg with a weakness for the physical makeup of beautiful women, a trait that he's forced to discuss multiple times on camera. Simon's appearances always make us squirm in the best way. His addiction even makes it hard for him to do his job in a women's clothing store, but he seems like a nice enough guy. His self-awareness is actually a breath of fresh air, though a jewelry store owner he works for doesn't seem to think so, as Simon repeatedly tells him why he's struggling to focus. The highlight of his run on the series comes when he outlines the trivial details of his day as part of a reality show he pitches, and fails to sell, with Nathan. It's a pity it doesn't come to fruition though. Simon sees would have made a perfect companion to just about anything Nathan does. Bill Gates impersonator Bill Heath. The mere existence of a professional Bill Gates impersonator is already a funny idea, and Bill Heath shows up several times to try and impress with his version of what he thinks the Microsoft founder sounds like. If you're wondering how a TV show could possibly use a Bill Gates impersonator more than once, well, that's the genius of Nathan Fielder. In a rather heartwarming turn that ends up being the 90-minute series finale, Bill embarks on a road trip with Nathan in hopes of tracking down a woman he loved from many years earlier. It's a fitting end to the show, giving us a lot of laughs, a few tears, and a new appreciation for the guest stars that makes Nathan For You so good.